Bison fans, add a little green in your wallet with the NDSU debit card from Gate City Bank. For every card ordered, Gate City Bank donates $10 to NDSU. Get your Gate City Bank Bison debit card today at gatecity.bank/bison or instantly at any location. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC.
Bison Media Zone on WDAY Xtra.
And welcome everybody to the Bison Media Zone here on WDAY Xtra as we click the calendar over to 2024. We'll still hit football plenty. We got Tyler Roehl coming up here in about 10 minutes to discuss him being promoted to associate head coach for the Bison football team. We'll still have our usual guys in here sporadically. We're going to change things up, though, as we transition into basketball season. And with that being said, we just had Dave Richmond on Hot Mic. Bison men are getting set to hit the road to Kansas City and to take on Omaha, both on Thursday and on Saturday. The big news last week was the fact that senior and the leading scorer on the team, Bowden Skunberg, was benched for the game against Montana. He came back and played, led the Bison in scoring in the game against Eastern Washington at 23 points, but the Bison did lose, giving up 96 points in the process. We were at Bison practice yesterday, had a chance to visit with Skunberg, now back on the Bison roster.
Just a lot of expectation issues, I think. Just, being a leader, putting others first. And I think, taking a step back a little bit and, seeing what I can do better and how I can help the team in different ways. I think it was good and helpful, and it's really good to be back. But just put others first, be a better leader, having others in mind before myself.
The intriguing part to see is obviously where this thing goes forward with Bowden being back on the team. Clearly, their leading scorer, only senior. There's a leadership contingent part of that as well. We'll see how things materialize going forward. As we mentioned, the men's basketball standings right now in the Summit League, all we know, St. Thomas is really good. The Tommies have won their first two games. The Bison played just that one game against South Dakota. As you look at the up-to-date standings as we get ready for Summit League play to resume beginning tomorrow night, St. Thomas is 2-0. After that, the Jacks played their one game. They beat UND. After that, you've got a mix of teams in there that nobody has really distinguished themselves. Oral Roberts is coming off a home loss. Granted, it was to Weber State, but they lost to Kansas City so far in league play. You see the Roos, we'll see them coming up tomorrow night. UND off to an 0-2 start, and the Bison there with that 0-1 mark after their loss in their game against South Dakota before the first of the year. To the games now happening beginning tomorrow night. We mentioned North Dakota State is taking on Kansas City, as that's the game there where the Bison last year, you remember, had a tough time with the Roos, including they got up huge against KC and nearly lost that game. USD is in Tulsa tomorrow. South Dakota State, St. Thomas will get your attention right away. And if the Tommies are able to knock off the Jackrabbits, then we can start signaling the alarm. Granted, that game is in St. Paul tomorrow night, where St. Thomas has been dynamite. Keep an eye on that. If the Tommies are able to get that one, that's a heck of a start for them here in the league play. UND goes to Omaha. Of course, the Bison will be in Omaha coming up on Saturday. This is, of course, the first year of the new travel partners. Last year, the Bison were paired with, on this road trip, be Kansas City and Oral Roberts. Now it's just Kansas City and Omaha. A little bit easier on the travel part. Speaking of that North Dakota State men's basketball roster, if you've watched any Bison games so far this season, you can't miss the big man, 6'10", redshirt freshman Noah Feddersen, who started the season in the starting lineup. He started actually this past game against Eastern Washington. His rise in the lineup has certainly coincided with some better play, both offensively and defensively. I visited with him yesterday at practice to get set for back into Summit League play and actually being a point guard in high school. All right, here with Bison, big man, redshirt freshman Noah Feddersen, who, for people that don't know this, from Menominee, Wisconsin, that you were a point guard during your senior year of high school. Give us the backstory on you being the guy bringing the ball to the floor.
Yeah, so originally wasn't, and then unfortunately our starting point guard, he had broken his hand, so he's going to be out for a couple months. So coach said, Noah, you're gonna have to be the one bringing the ball up the court. So definitely was something I hadn't done before, but
So how was that transition? And what was it defensively for teams to try and prepare for you bringing the ball up?
Yeah, well, it was kind of weird because a lot of times, the big guy's not going to get up there full court. So a lot of times it was easy, but then sometimes some teams would put a guard up there and pressure me, which did make it difficult sometimes, but yeah.
Did you ever get used to it? Did you like it as the more you did it?
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I mean, I had the ball in my hands to start the play, so I didn't mind it in that aspect. But sometimes it did kind of suck if I was tired, just to want to pass it to one of my teammates and get down the court by myself, but yeah.
Describe, Noah, the recruiting process. When NDSU came into the mix, how much did you know about the Bison when they started contact?
Yeah, honestly, didn't know much about them, but they did come in my last year of AAU, going in my senior year that summer. Came and watched me play in some different tournaments. And then, in the fall, I did come up here and visit. I think it was homecoming weekend, went to the football game, and I just knew right away from the visit that it was going to be the spot for me. So.
What sold you on it when you got up here?
Honestly, just the coaches, getting to know all of them even more and know what they're about. Just made them stand out from everything else, and then going to that football game and seeing how the Fargo community supported NDSU sports.
Describe last year getting in and okay, you're going to redshirt. Describe that conversation and how difficult was that? Because all you've known is playing, and you're going to have to sit.
Yeah, definitely was difficult at first to hear that and know I'm not going to be playing a real game for a whole another year. But looking back on it, definitely I could say happy and grateful that I was able to do that. Made me be able to get a lot of progress both in the weight room and in the court, and also be able to learn a lot of things about college basketball that helped me so far this season.
So when you're out there and you're seeing a guy like Morgs and Grant, just what was that like? Okay, this is Division I college basketball.
Yeah, that was definitely something. I remember that first open gym in the summer. We're playing 5-on-5 pickup, and those guys are just dunking everything. Didn't play a lot of guys like that in high school, so.
How much did it help for your development?
Oh, it helped a ton. Going against Grant every day in practice definitely made me a lot better. And Morgs too. Both of those guys just really good. So being able to play against them every day in practice was great.
When did you get a sense that you had taken maybe quote unquote the next step that before this season? Was it a practice, the trip, the international trip you guys took? When did you feel like, okay, I'm feeling more comfortable with my game?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really know if there was one spot. I fractured my foot in the summer, so I wasn't able to play in Costa Rica. So that did kind of suck. But then came back before the season, got back in practice, and gained my confidence from there, really.
And then you were starting to start the season. What was that experience like? Did Coach Richmond come in and say, hey, we're going to have you in the starting lineup?
Yeah, honestly, I was a little surprised. But I was also just really excited, my first game in college, and I was going to be a starter. Going off to play a big team like Creighton early on, being a starter against them. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
Was it nervous?
Yeah, a little bit of nervous, yeah.
Did things settle down, and have they slowed down for you now that we're in the mid part of the season?
Yeah, they definitely have slowed down a lot now. Feel a lot more comfortable out there. Just feel like it's more just playing basketball, not trying to do every little thing. So, yeah.
People will watch the games knowing I'm over here. I did not know about your three-point range. Is that something you had? Have you worked on since you got here?
Honestly, yeah, didn't have a lot of it in high school, so kind of credit that to the coaches here. Worked on that a lot, and just getting in the gym every day and getting those shots up.
So are you and Morgs at a three-point shooting contest? Because each of you guys have made three-pointers in games this year.
Yeah, we definitely like to be competitive, in the games, but also in practice, seeing who can make more shots than each other. So
getting ready now to really get into Summit League play. You've seen it on the bench. How excited are you to be a part of it now starting on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm really excited. This is what we work for all through the summer, the spring, and the fall, is to set ourselves up for that tournament come in March and go win that thing. So, yeah, I'm really excited.
Describe how, you played the game with USD, then you played 2 non-conference games. It feel like it's kind of weird to get into things, and now actually you're going to play a conference game?
Yeah, it was a little weird, compared to last year where we just do all of our non-conference and all of our conference. But yeah, it was a little bit different, but also those Big Sky teams are kind of like teams in our conference. So.
Okay, so your hometown is basically the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota. Are there Viking fans there, Packer fans, both? What is your hometown like?
Yeah, it's mostly Packer fans, but there are definitely some Vikings fans. So.
Oh, yourself, do you have a rooting interest?
Packers, definitely, yep.
So describe what being in Viking country is like now all the time. What is it like for you?
I love it now because the Packers made the playoffs.
So you've got the ultimate bragging rights.
Right? Yep, yes, sir.
There's our conversation with Noah Feddersen. Our guy Eric Bennell probably loves that as a Packer fan. And we'll see how he plays coming up tomorrow night when the Bison take on Kansas City. We'll break here on the BMZ. We come back. Newly named NDSU Associate Head Coach Tyler Roehl will join me about staying with NDSU, entertaining other job offers, and what to look forward to with the 2024 football team. We'll do that. We come back on WDAY Xtra right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Bison Media Zone rolls on here on this Wednesday. We are super pumped to welcome back to our show. Newly named NDSU Associate Head Coach Tyler Roehl joins us here on this Wednesday morning. First time we had a chance to talk to Ty since the season wrapped up. There's about 8 million questions I have for you, but let me just first start with the coaching process went down. Where are you at emotionally with this? You're still here, frustrated. Did you ride a wave of emotions over the last 3 weeks, I have to imagine?
Oh, my gosh. Just going through the week and even the week before and knowing how all this is going to go and transpire, and you're prepping yourself for an opportunity that you really desire, you really want. And, just – but then on the other side, you kind of put that kind of to the side. I mean, you got to have balance because you're also getting ready for a semifinal game. So just the strategic management, the planning, but in the forefront, why are we in this? It's because of the now. It's because of the season. And I kept coming back. I need to do everything for the staff, the current staff, to put our best foot forward for this game. I need to do everything for those kids in that locker room because that's what they deserve. And you know what? Everything, in my opinion, everything happens for a reason. And I could sit here and be mad, frustrated, upset, but I'm not. This is just another form of someone telling me it's not time. And the best is yet to come. Everything does happen for a reason. And you just take everything a day at a time and find learning opportunity, find growth through adversity, much like we did through the season, and just take it a day at a time.
How difficult, Tyler, was going up against Tim? Tim coached you. I know how close the two of you are. Describe that.
Yeah, it's two people who are passionate, not only passionate, but passionate about Bison football and wanting what's best for Bison football. I tried to keep that as separate as possible, through the madness of the week, and not really think about it. And at the end of the day, he's the one who was named, and it's his opportunity. And as a friend, support him and, in his opportunity to do this. But yeah, I tried to keep it as separate as possible.
When you saw the outpouring on social media, I know you can't, from the current team and former team players on the team, what did that mean to you?
Got goosebumps, you just saying that. And you're sitting there. I'm sitting right in my office, scripting practice. All of a sudden, I'm getting texts and whatnot. You seeing this? Not really. I'm trying to get ready for a game. But then later that evening, you go back and you look, and it's just like, wow, that's special because that's why we do this. As an individual, you've given so much, sacrificed so much to put your best foot forward to help those kids in that locker room. From the time I was a player, from the time I came back on campus to coach, and to see how much you've been in their corner to support them through all facets of life. And they were, without, me going to lobby or nothing solicited, they're going and doing this on their own. That's why we do this. That's why we're in athletics. That's why we've chosen to be teachers, mentors, and coaches for these young individuals. And it meant more than I can put into words.
I know 2023 was a trying year between obviously what happened on the year with your mom passing away. Just how do you encapsulate what the last 365 days have been like for you?
Yeah, through loss, through growth, there's change. And change can be uncomfortable, but change is inevitable. And from change is growth. And, through the loss, I mean, you cherish the memories of my mom. And then you just go into football. This is the most joy that I've had coaching. And people are probably like, well, you lost in the semifinal game. It's more than that. And through the adversity, through the challenges, through the difficulty, there was such buy-in, trust, connection, a true desire and buy-in to do things better than they've ever been done before, regardless of the record. And that's where you find the joy, because those kids in that locker room had the mindset of, we can and we will. And the fight, the determination, the competitiveness, how we continue to improve, through that stretch late, the want to, the urgency to get better daily. It was really fun to be a part of, and just to see the ultimate growth through the season, and to all of it culminate on that night in Missoula, which was just an unbelievable game.
Really
and
good
atmosphere.
It was.
I'm just, wow. And, that whole, just kind of hitting on that whole last drive of the game, we're in the staff in the booth, and the setup was a little bit interesting, and it's cold outside. It's getting warm in our booth. Coach Hedberg's helping me as much as possible, wipe down the windows because it was fogging up in there. I finally just kind of put the game board aside. I'm standing up, and I'm just calling it. Bam, 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 touchdown. And then we go to overtime, touchdown. And then we go to second overtime, touchdown. Yep. And then you fall short on the 2-point play that worked the year before, and take complete ownership of that, But through the season, through the adversity, a lot of joy, a lot of fun. And, those kids it's an unbelievable group of kids.
All right, we got to go here. I want to ask one last question. Are you surprised with the amount of guys that decided to return? I think they're, at least on the outside, Ty, we see the portal out there. We see the NIL opportunity, and the guys have decided to come back. Are you surprised at that?
Not one bit. I mean, this place is different, but it's a special different, and it's a strong environment. It's an atmosphere where you're going to grow, you're going to develop what everyone on campus has been able to do, from cost of attendance, facilities, the community, the collective, team makers, all of it. The foundation is here strong. And for any prospective student athlete, the kids, why wouldn't you want to be here? Because of the support, the external investment, but the daily internal investment that you're going to get from everyone on campus, the community, this coaching staff, the other players, the leaders. It's an unbelievable place.
Did you watch the game on Sunday or no? Did you not have it on?
Nah, I peeked up and watched a little bit, looked back down a little bit. Yeah, because I like college football. And there was a lot pulling at me. But, I watched a little bit.
I imagine that's probably a lot of the Bison was the same way. Probably you were in the same boat with you, right?
Yeah. Just going to peek up there and kind of the what if and all that. But you know what? The best is yet to come.
How about the first game for 2024 is against Deion Sanders? You thought about that yet?
Interesting. Not a whole lot. Yeah. Honestly, just taking a day at a time. There's a lot that needs to happen here. I'm just getting everything scheduled on Monday. I'm going to be driving from Fargo out towards Rapid City and just getting all that in place. But there's a lot of work to be done from now till then.
It's great to see you. Thanks so much for making time, and we'll be in touch soon, okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you. All the best.
There he goes, Tyler Roehl, newly named NDSU associate head coach. Of course, he's going to keep on, offensive coordinator at North Dakota State, joining us here on the Bison Media Zone. We appreciate his time, and if you missed that, We'll podcast that. It'll be available later today on our Bison Media Zone feed. We got to roll. We'll be back here next week. Full recap of NDSU's games. Don't forget, we got women's basketball coming up tomorrow night. North Dakota State hosting Kansas City. See if the Bison can put a win streak together. And then Omaha on Saturday. Thanks so much for watching the Bison Media Zone. See you back here next Wednesday on WDAY Xtra and Inforum.com. How can you spot a true Bison fan? They have an exclusive Bison debit card from Gate City Bank in their wallet. Plus, they know that for every card ordered, Gate City Bank donates $10 to NDSU. Show your spirit with your own Bison card today at gatecity.bank/Bison or instantly at any location. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. Member FDIC.